Smart objects in Photoshop. Not too complicated, but you need to understand how they work. First of all, I want to just delete everything from our previous lesson here and even clear out our layer styles so we can start from scratch. Again, we have our pixel layer here. I'm going to make a duplicate from this, move it over to our new layer icon, drop it, and right away rename this to Smart Object. It's not a smart object yet. We first need to convert this. So right away now, it's still a pixel layer. I'm going to hit right click on this and go over here to convert to smart object. Select smart object, and now right away we have a pixel layer and a smart object. Let's also select the icon over here so you can see it's just a smart object. Okay, so what is a smart object? Well, it will allow you to make changes to an image without overwriting the original image data. I'll say that again. It allows you to make changes to an image without overwriting the original image data. Let me also show that in practice. If we're going to go to a normal pixel layer, I'll just quickly make a new layer. I'll just rename this to background. So that is our start of our image and our first layer. Maybe it isn't even locked. Okay, let's go to pixel layer, copy. We're going to rename that properly. And now we have pixel layer, a normal pixel layer. I want to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and give this like a 30% blurriness. Before I do that, let's actually just switch off the smart object so we can also see everything. Blur, Gaussian blur, and we're right away going to give this like a 30-21 blurriness. Okay, so right away our normal pixel layer has been already adjusted. So the original image data is now being worked on. So now if I keep on photoshopping, say adjustments, I'll give this a bit of a color, I go back and add a bit of curves and be creative and maybe work on for an hour or half an hour, and then later decide, well, maybe the whole blurriness didn't look so nice. I don't like that anymore. So let's just delete that. So if you don't have the background layer, your normal layer will just be gone and your whole effect will be gone. So again, the original image data has been worked on. You can't fall back in the history panel so far, so you can't get back to this state where you worked here. If you press undo, it will only affect the last adjustment curves layer. So what to do? Maybe I should just start from scratch. So you've wasted time and you're frustrated. Whereas with a normal pixel layer now, converted to a smart object, you can now work a bit more precise and score a bit more time. So basically, selecting the smart object, going back to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, I'll give this the same blurriness. I continue with my Photoshop process. I maybe give this contrast. I maybe give this another color. I decide to add some more curves to this. So again, I'm Photoshopping on for a few hours. But now I noticed, well, it looks very weird, an alien vibe. So I want to go back and change this. I don't need to worry about, again, history, Command Z, any of that. I can simply go back to the layer that I've created, the smart object layer, open it here on the side, and right away also see here my smart filters right away underneath it. So first of all, I can blend this off completely if I don't like it at all, or if I want to enhance that filter again, I can just double click onto the smart filter here, the Gaussian blur, and take the blurriness all the way down. Up to 1% maybe, hit OK, and I'm happy, I save time, and I can go back to the top and start with my Photoshop process again. So super easy way how to not break down the original image data instead of just replacing it and overwriting it. Then also one downside of this, I'll just delete all of these layers here so you guys can see it. Let's get out of the full screen mode. Right away down here in our canvas, you'll see we have now 24.2 megabytes for this complete file. If I'll delete this, have a look at this number, it goes down. Now it goes to 12.1. So this means as more as I add new layers here and convert them to smart object, the bigger my megabytes get for my file size. Let's delete this again. 12 megabytes, I'll call it back up, and it's back to 24. So again, the more smart objects you create, the bigger your file gets, your Photoshop file. So be precise when you use this. Maybe only use this when you're working with filters and techniques and also certain effects. So that is not all about smart objects. You can also double click on here and also add layer styles as well to this. Say something like color overlay, hit OK, and right away you see the effects here and also your smart filters. So everything is underlined underneath each other, almost like a Photoshop group again. So always be sure when using your smart objects.